everyone, my name is Julie Huang, and I am a scientist at a company in the South San Francisco area called Alector. I actually just started this job about 2.5 months ago, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I came to have this position. But before getting into my current position, I'd like to share a little bit about myself. I actually grew up in Los Angeles and am a first generation college student. So my parents, they both immigrated from China. They both grew up in a pretty rural village in southern China, didn't have a chance to go to college, and came over to the US. And really through a lot of hard work and commitment, they were able to raise my brother and myself in LA, and really nurtured us and encouraged us to really pursue higher education. But you know, growing up as first generation, it was on one hand, it was quite challenging because there wasn't really a lot of information from my parents about how to pursue college. But on the other hand, it was a really great experience being able to learn how to be resourceful, reaching out for help. And I really do look back on my experience as being a first generation college student really as a strength and an asset, more than being a disadvantage. And so I, from early on, really had this huge desire to go into science. I always had questions about the world and how things worked. And so I knew I wanted to be a scientist. And because of that, I had decided to apply for a lot of science-oriented schools. I ended up going to the California Institute of Technology down in Pasadena, which was only about 10 or 20 minutes away from where I grew up. And I ended up getting some really great research experience there, but it was interesting because I actually didn't end up starting out in biology, which is where I'm in now. I originally thought I was going to pursue a career in astrophysics, and I really loved astronomy and thought that that was going to be where I would end up, go to college, get a PhD, and then go on and work for NASA. So that was my goal, and all my personal statements were written in that way. And then during my time at Caltech, I did an internship at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and this is the NASA center that creates a lot of the robots and the rovers that head up into Mars. And during that internship, I learned that the day-to-day work of an astrophysicist was not exactly what I had imagined, and perhaps it was a little bit more glamorous in my head than what it really was. And while I was still really excited about the questions that they were pursuing in the field, I thought that for me, maybe I should think about other areas where I would be able to work on something that would be closer to home. And so I started exploring different options, and I ended up meeting some professors in the biology department and also in the geobiology department. So this was a really cool area of how biology intersects with earth science. And in the end, I ended up majoring in this geobiology studies, and I also did some research in a lab that looked at the role of different microorganisms, bacteria in particular, and how they interact with the human host. That research experience really changed my view on biology, and in particular microbiology. And that's what really got me into the whole world of microbiology. And that research experience in this particular lab, studying these beneficial microbes, really got me hooked into this world of microbiology and beneficial bacteria. So that internship was really critical for me because it helped me realize that while up until then I really thought astronomy was where I wanted to go, it got me thinking about other fields. And as I started exploring and talking to professors, and then later on getting research experience, that gave me the chance to really identify an area that I was very passionate about. And this, again, was not an area that I ever thought about while I was in high school. So that led me to applying for a PhD after grad school, after undergrad, because to become a scientist, I knew that I needed more training than just the research experience I had while at Caltech. And so I applied for a lot of different graduate programs in microbiology and ended up choosing Stanford University to pursue this degree, my PhD in microbiology. Um, I hope this story helps you see that you don't need to know what you're going to be doing in 10 years, 15 years. You just have to try to see what you're most interested in at the moment, and also try to find as much information as possible. And so my best piece of advice for you who are in middle school or in high school is to really seek out those who could be great mentors. I had some amazing teachers while I was in middle school and high school who helped me find out more about different types of careers. And that was really important because that helped guide me at least towards what I was interested in at the time. And again, at the time it was astronomy. And that helped me decide which colleges to go to. And then once I was in college, I continued to have professors as mentors, but then also started learning to just meet and chat with people about what they did in their careers. And these are what I later learned in grad school were called informational interviews. I really encourage you to reach out to people that your parents may know, your friends may know, and your teachers. All these different people in your life, they may know someone who is doing the type of job that you're interested in. And it's really fun to meet with them and ask them, so what is your job like? What do you do on a day-to-day? How did you get there? And that's been really helpful for me. Even now, I'm in my 30s and I'm still always learning because I want to keep my career kind of evolving as my interests and passions also evolve. And so I really encourage you to reach out to people for these types of informational interviews because it's incredibly helpful to get that information. Even though you are early on, it's a really great time to just start looking for these different ways to chat with people, and the mentors that you develop will be really also instrumental in helping you either provide you with the information or connect you to people who have the information. And so with that, I really thank you for taking the time to hear my story, and I wish you all the best as you pursue your studies and start thinking about getting into college and thinking about the types of studies that you would like to pursue. So thank you and good luck.